Hey team, welcome back. So now we're jumping into one of my favorite topics, the listing appointment itself. You've already done all the prep work, right? You've gotten your CMA, your packet, your marketing materials ready to go. But this is where it all happens. From the moment you knock on the door to the second you walk out, everything you say, everything you do sets the tone for whether you win the listing or lose it. So let's walk through it like we're side by side in the field. So, the power of first impressions. All right, here's the truth. People decide how they feel about you in the first 7 seconds. You could have the best marketing plan, my friends, in the world. But if your energy is off when that door opens, you are already behind. So before you knock, I want you to stop, take a deep breath, shoulders back, chin up, and smile. Visualize the appointment going well, because how you feel walking up to the door is exactly how the sellers are going to feel about you. And when they open it, be warm, confident, and most importantly, be human. Say their name right away. Hi, Susan. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me today and welcome me into your beautiful home. How's your morning been so far? Not, hi, how are you? That's robotic. Make it conversational. And if they invite you in right away, don't rush into business talk. Start with connection. Compliment something small like, oh my gosh, I love this entry light fixture, or your landscaping looks amazing. That's the energy you want, confident but approachable at the exact same time. So now let's talk about the home tour. Connection through curiosity. Now, this is where you really get to know your clients. Don't think of it as inspecting the house. Think of it as listening to their story. As you walk through, ask those open, easy questions. What made you fall in love with this home? If you were staying, what would you change next? Where are you moving next? And when do you hope to be there? Those answers tell you everything: their motivation, their timeline, and what matters to them most. And as they talk, really look around. Compliment strategically. Wow, the kitchen light is amazing. Buyers love bright spaces like this. This backyard feels like a retreat. This is going to be a huge selling point once we get you on the market. It's about making them feel proud of their home and making them see that you notice what buyers will notice. And one small tip: match their energy. If they were calm and quiet, lower your tone. If they're upbeat and chatty, lean into that. People feel connected to people who feel like them. Take short notes if you need to. Just don't make it weird. Keep your focus on them. Okay? Then when the tour's done, I will usually say something like, perfect. I've got a great feel for your home. Let's grab a seat at the kitchen table and I'll show you what's happening in your neighborhood right now. And when you guys are doing the home tour, look for things that you think can either improve or hurt the price of this home. Do you think it needs new carpet, new freshly painted rooms? Does it need water heater straps because they're missing? So have a nice notepad ready to go to take these notes. It shows that you're actually paying attention. But what a skill, because you're writing, looking around, absorbing, taking notes, but you're also asking these good, open, easy questions to get to know them more and to make them feel at ease. So now let's talk about transitioning to the table. I need you to take the lead naturally. So once you sit down, this is your time to lead the conversation. Choose a seat where you can see them clearly. You don't want any barriers. Spread your materials neatly. I always open up my folder and take out the CMA only and put it on top with all my marketing materials behind it. I always start with something that gives me permission to take control, but it still feels collaborative. So I'll say, would it be helpful if I walk you through what's happening in your neighborhood right now and how we can position your home for success? Their answer is always yes. And now you're in the driver's seat without ever having to take full control. From here, I start with the market. So the market conversation. Comps first flow. Okay, this first part is everything, my friends. Don't talk price out of the blue. I show them the data. I start broad. Here's what buyers are seeing in your area right now. Then I show 2 to 3 key comparables, one active, one pending, one sold, for example. And I'll highlight the patterns. See this one? It's been sitting 42 days. The photos aren't great and it's overpriced. This other one here, this one sold fast because the marketing popped and the pricing pulled buyers in right away. And here's another step I want you to take. If and when you can, call the other listing agents. Ask them what went right about their listing. Let them know you're about to pull one up, a new listing in the same neighborhood, and you're just gathering all the details as well. If they're under contract or sold, they're likely to give you some insight. Then you can take that insight and bring it to the table. It's part of your data package. Okay, then I ask the question that changes everything. Because what I don't want you to do is say, okay, well, I think we should list your house at $650,000. Because they might be thinking, I want to list it for $720,000 because that's what the Zestimate shows. Or they may have been thinking, oh my gosh, I think I can only get $600,000 for this house. So instead of giving them a price, ask this one question. After you go over all the comparables, all the data, all the intel that you have. Miss Seller, are these prices in alignment with what you were thinking or hoping for? And pause. That question opens the door for honesty. If they say yes, great, we're aligned. If they say no, I smile and say, totally understandable. Every seller wants the best possible price. That's exactly why our marketing is so intentional. Because when we do this right, we can help the market see the full value of your home. And then that's my bridge into marketing. So why marketing wins? Once we've talked pricing, I transition with, now let me show you how I can make your home stand out from every other listing out there. Then I open my marketing packet and take my time. This is where I really shine. I say, listen, we don't just list your home and wait. We launch with intention. And then I walk them through each pillar like I'm telling the story of their home. So pillar 1, professional photography and video. Miss Seller, buyers shop with their thumbs before their feet. I show examples, before and after shots, drone shots, lifestyle clips. I have this all in my listing presentation package. And then I'll say something like, this is exactly how we'd feature your kitchen, clean, bright, and framed perfectly for online buyers. And then I pause, let them imagine their home looking like that. That's how you sell the value of your marketing, not through words, but through visualization. Okay. So next I want to talk about digital exposure and paid ads. So now I'll say most agents stop at uploading. We market like a media company. I explain that their home hits 900 plus websites, plus we run targeted ads on Google and Meta. Then I pull up an example and say, this was a listing we launched last month. It had 18,000 views in 1 week. Proof matters. When sellers see that you can measure your marketing, they stop thinking about commission and compensation, and they start seeing your value. Now, my friends, if you don't have any listings under your belt and you don't have this proof, this is where you want to use your team as leverage. So take the I out of your language and say, we at my brokerage have done this. Our team has done this. Our team has procured this many views online. Okay, so now let's talk about social media, one of my favorites in the whole marketing plan. I'll say something like, look, let's be honest, Miss Seller, people live on social media. That's where we meet most of our buyers. Then I show an example of a reel or post that I have. These short videos get the most engagement, and every one of them drives traffic right back to your listing. So make it sound current, not technical. This is where they see you as today's agent, not yesterday's. Okay, we got to always stay ahead of the curve. Okay, so now let's talk about database and agent networking. Next, I'll say the fastest buyer might already be in our system. We've got thousands of active buyers in our CRM, and we push listings out to every agent in our network. There's over 16,000 of them just here in the Las Vegas Valley. I'll tell them that's often how we sell homes before they even hit the market because we already know who's looking. So now let's talk about pillar 5, open houses that work. I'll then say something like, we don't do open houses for luck. We do them for leverage. Because the reality is, my friends, open houses don't always sell homes. It's more about statistics and the extra marketing exposure they bring, right? So we do them for leverage. Add that to your vocabulary when you're talking to sellers. I explain the full setup, the signs, the digital check-ins, the social media coverage, and how every visitor gets added to our buyer pool. And I love sharing a story here. Miss Seller, I had a listing in Henderson last quarter. We did a Saturday open house, 20 check-ins, and one of those buyers wrote an offer the very next day. They'd already seen the house online, then in person, then again on our reel, and that's 3 touch points in 24 hours. Now that's marketing momentum. Now that story makes it real for them, okay? So now I want to go over handling objections with confidence. So here's where your tone makes or breaks it. If they say, we're interviewing other agents, I smile and say, that's fantastic, and I encourage that. Once you see what we do and how intentional it is, I think the difference will be clear. If they say, we want to try at a higher price, I totally get that, Miss Seller. My job is to help you test at the top of the range without losing buyer momentum. If they say, we're not in a rush, Miss Seller, that's actually a great position to be in. It gives us flexibility to launch strategically. The key is to stay calm and human, my friends. Do not get defensive. Don't fluster over your words. This isn't a sales pitch. It truly is about steady leadership. And the more you practice these talking points, the more confident you will be going into these appointments. And I have to be honest with you, my personal formula to win listings is market conditions and effective communication. If you can master the market conditions and do your homework and research for that listing appointment, you are so ahead of the game. And then if you learn how to master behavioral traits from people, making them feel comfortable and using this elevated language, I know your business is really going to start soaring. So let's talk about asking for the listing. Okay, the confident close. This is so hard for so many of us. But you got to remember, you've done so much work up until this point. Go for it, okay? So once you've earned their trust, asking for the business should feel natural, not forced. I'll usually say, Miss Seller, based on everything we discussed, your goals, the market, and my marketing plan, the next step is getting the paperwork started so we can get your home in front of buyers. I pause and then I smile. I let it breathe for a little bit. If they hesitate, I ask, what would you need to feel comfortable before we move forward tonight? That one question gets them to tell you exactly what's holding them back. And now you can solve for it. Okay? And now let's talk about closing the appointment before you leave. Always recap the next steps. Photos, sign install, MLS date. Keep it clear and simple. Then end with gratitude. Thank you again for inviting me into your home. I'm really excited to get you into this next new chapter of yours. Hand them your seller's guide and some of your marketing pieces. It's a visual reminder of your professionalism. And then this is big. Follow up within 24 hours. A quick thank you text and a short email recap. That extra step is what keeps you top of mind when they're ready to sign your paperwork. So some key takeaways. The listing appointment isn't a sales pitch. It's a guided conversation led by confidence, not pressure. When you show up prepared, polished, and calm, sellers will feel it. And when they feel it, they trust you. So remember, connection first, collaboration second. Confidence always wins. You've got this, so go win the next listing appointment. And next up in Module 3, we're going to go over the follow-up and conversion mastery. What to do when they don't sign yet.